All right. So, greetings and good evenings and namaskaram, Hare Krishna to all of you. And it is a very auspicious occasion for us today, uh, 28th June 2025, because we are beginning our chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita after spending two sessions doing the introduction part, which was done in part 1 and part 2. So, now it's time to take a deep dive into the transcendental Vani or the song of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So, this chapter 1 will be covering today a few verses from verse 1 to 11 we'll be covering. And the key to understand Bhagavad Gita uh, thoroughly, properly, as per the acharyas, including Srila Prabhupada, is that we should understand both the tattva as well as the rasa. Tattva is the philosophy part, which is very good, and rasa gives the juice, that is a devotion. You know, otherwise, without rasa, philosophy will become very dry and boring at times. So we have to try to blend both, understand Bhagavad Gita from both the perspective, and that is the way that we understood from the introduction that Arjuna also understood as a devotee and as a friend. And the purpose of chapter 1 is mainly to get ourselves, uplifted in spiritual knowledge. And what is the advantage of having this spiritual knowledge? Or you can say enlightenment. What do we gain? Basically, what we gain is we are able to overcome the bewilderment that we are facing in this material world. Each one of us have our own, bewilderment, or what we call as perplexities, for different reasons. Everyone's reason could be different. As many as there are a number of jivas, there are that many reasons for perplexities also. So, and everyone's perplexity could be very unique. They'll feel that the situation that they are in, that is the worst situation at times, whereas others are gifted with better situation. Others might feel the same thing about this side. So the other side of the grass is always green, they say. So by studying Bhagavad Gita, we attain spiritual knowledge, enlightenment, and then we can thus overcome this bewilderment. And talking of perplexities, who could have the worst kind of perplexities other than what Arjuna has faced right in front of in the battlefield? Is our situation worse than that? I remember once, I've heard this from a disciple of His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj, when one of his disciples went to him with so much of problems, this, that, this. So Radhanath Maharaj coolly heard all that. And then he asked him, is your problem more severe than what Prahlad underwent when he was a child? Did you ever experience what it is like throwing from the cliff down? Did you ever experience what it is like being thrown in a pit full of snakes? Did you ever experience what it is like when you're put in a fire, raging fire? Were you ever poisoned in your food? So that devotee disciple understood everything. He said, "No, Maharaj, my problems are nothing like that." So the way is, whenever we have severe problems, the scriptures teach us that there are more severe problems encountered by, uh, purer souls or pure souls. So pure souls are undergoing more problems, and then they basically give us some sort of an inspiration that we can survive the situation. So we tend to make a mountain of a mole, whereas the pure souls, when they have a mountain of problems, they feel that it is nothing. It could have been still worse. So this perplexity, what we are having, so when we read Bhagavad Gita, I mean, especially chapter 1, because chapter 1 is a stage where Arjuna is in perplexity and that perplexity is completely removed. Like you have a ripple in the water when you throw a stone and then you allow it to settle, it becomes a crystal clear water and you can see right underneath, especially not in India, but when you go to US. I once happened to go very close to the Pacific Ocean from California, and then I was taken to that one of the bays there. I was amazed when I just peeped inside the water. I could see at least about 10 feet, 20 feet deep, crystal clear. All the pebbles, stones, rocks, everything was so clear, water was so clear. So our mind will become like that once we understand, because Arjuna's heart got completely transformed, and clarity of thought comes to take decisions. Clarity of thought, as we discussed yesterday in Ramayana lessons, comes from clarity of mind. So this is how actually we should understand. And so we move on to the next slide now. So we cannot escape this slide. This slide keeps on chasing us right from introduction. So the five truths, I say call it now the foundation slide. The five truths which I call as 3 J's and 2 K's. Anyone wants to raise their hand quickly and say what are these 3 J's and 2 K's? I'm sure all of you know it, but just for my own satisfaction, I'm asking this question now. And I want some new person to answer, not some experienced person. Yes, Anjali, you have raised your hand first. Fastest finger first.
Jagdish, Jiva, and Jagat, and K stand for Karma and Kal.
100 brownie points for you. Let's see who's collecting the brownie points, and something we'll do out of that. But keep a track, and maybe after every month we'll see who has got how many brownie points, and then we'll plan something nicely. So the first brownie points ever in this session of Bhagavad Gita goes to Anjali. Wonderful. So first is Jagdish, who is Ishvara, then Jiva, that is we, the conditioned souls, and Prakriti, the Jagat where we are living. And Jiva, we know, is a creator, maintainer, destroyer, and he is conscious not only of this universe, but is conscious of all the universes. And Prakriti comes with certain bonus points. Here it is coming with 3 modes of nature. Whenever we interact with Prakriti, the first thing is now after studying Bhagavad Gita, we'll start evaluating people. Oh, he's in mode of ignorance. Oh, he's in mode of goodness. Oh, he's in mode of passion. These kind of things we'll start doing. Better not to do that. But it is inevitable. The fact of the matter is, whether you tell outside or not, when a person advances and he's making strides in spirituality, then by just mere conversation with somebody, we can find out which modes of nature is prominent in that person. It is not that everybody is free from all. There could be always a mixture sometimes. The mode of goodness and passion may overlap. Sometimes passion and ignorance may overlap. Sometimes it will be only ignorance. The person will go on sleeping whole day and he'll go on eating, can't even get up. He'll order, Mama, give me this, bring this to my table. So everything has to be spoon fed. That's a sign of laziness. And laziness is ignorance. So then the Jiva or the Atma is also conscious, like the creator, but is conscious of his own self. For instance, right now I don't know what is going on in the mind of Anjali, for example. So as an example, okay. So each person will not know what is going on in somebody's mind because we are not conscious of that person. We're only conscious about our own self. So that is Atma. So we have little bit of conscious, in Anu level. Then, of course, the fourth component, which is the K, Kala or time. And Ishvara controls Prakriti and Jiva through Kala. And Kala will be there forever. Right from eternal, we say, it goes on. Kala is the one which basically decides the death. Death is Kala. It decides how our body changes in form, that is Kala. Then karma. Karma is again the fifth component, and 3 plus 2, 5, yeah. And then karma is something that it's an activity that we keep on performing all the time. And however, karma can be changed, so it's temporary. Now, Jiva and Jagdish are connected. This connection is actually eternal connection. Okay, and this connection is called yoga. So Bhagavad Gita is all about yoga. Whichever way you look at it, actually it is only yoga, nothing else. And so this connection is eternal. The jiva forgets that connection, and then reading Bhagavad Gita is a process of reviving the connection again. So jiva is connected to Prakriti. So we are staying, for example, I am coming to my house daily, and I've got some activities in the house, and I park myself here, I keep my stuff there. So I'm connected by doing some activity in the house also, cooking maybe, and maybe right now I'm doing this activity from my home. It's an activity. So similarly, in the larger scale, Prakriti is like a house, and we're all connected to Prakriti through the actions that we do, that is karma. And there are 3 types of karma. This morning, Bhagavatam class, we discussed briefly. I think somebody asked a question, and karma, vikarma, and akarma. We discussed that. And yoga, that is connection with Krishna, can be different types: karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, and so on. And eventually, it has to lead us to mukti. What is mukti? Mukti is releasing your shackles from this jagat. That means you're no more now attached to this jagat. You're free from this jagat. That means conscious wise, you're also not having material consciousness. And then you're ready to get mukti, and you can go back home, back to Godhead. So Jiva, Jagat, and Jagadish, these 3 are the Tattva Traya. It's a Tattva Traya. And consciousness, that Jiva represents consciousness, Jagat represents matter, and Jagdish is absolute consciousness or absolute truth. Sat, Chit, Ananda, everything, complete. And again, Jiva and Kala are connected through time. I mean, Ishvara controls Jiva through Kal, and Jiva's objective is to get detached from Prakriti. That is Mukti. And detachment should be followed by attachment. It is not that I detach from something and then there is a vacuum. If you empty your mind and if you just relax for some time, like, naiti, 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 I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to see this. How long can you do that? After some time, some thoughts will go on coming into your empty vessel. Empty vessel make more noise. And so when you detach, you are also parallelly try to attach somewhere. So detachment, attachment, this is a parallel activity. So when you detach something, you are missing something. So you overcome that by attachment. So you attach to the higher level, that is Jagdish. That is how actually the balance is restored. So we talked about yoga, and Bhagavad Gita mentions about the word yoga, just the word yoga, something like 78 times. So therefore, it is called as a Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastra. 78 times, out of which, roughly you can say, if you divide it in terms of chapters, out of 18 chapters, 15 chapters are having this word yoga. One way or the other, it is there. And if not, if you keep aside the yoga, there is another word called as yukta. So yukta is the one who is connected. Okay. Yogi is the one who practices yoga, and yukta is the one who is connected. So yukta is also found 49 times. In one way or other, you see this entire root word yoga is covered 155 times, which is roughly 20% of the verses are having yoga word. So that is the essence of this particular. So as long as we are in the influence of Kala, we tend to have this illusion. So we have to come out with that. So the way is you think about Jagdish, think about Krishna all the time, and change the reference point from matter to spirit, and then you will see that automatically there will be change of consciousness coming your way. Okay. So now we go to the next slide. Okay, now I'm going to show you something very interesting. This is a jewelry box, a golden jewelry box. Are you able to see it? You
No.
cannot you cannot see it because I'm here to show it to you. So here it goes. Okay, are you able to see now the golden jewelry box? So what does
Yes.
a box represent? The moment you see this box, I'm sure all the ladies in the group will be excited. Oh, there is going to be something valuable coming out from that now. So if you carefully see, this box has got three parts. It looks like one box, isn't it? But it has got three parts. What are those parts? One part is the lower part, that is the base of the box, correct? And this base is basically nothing but Karma Yoga. So Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, we said, right? So these 18 chapters are divided into three sections. So the lower part is Karma Yoga, 1 to 6. The upper part, that is the lid that you are seeing now, this represents Jnana Yoga, 13 to 18. How is it that after 1 to 6 it is going 13 to 18 and not 7 to 12? Because 7 to 12 is something very precious, and 7 to 12 is nothing but Bhakti Yoga. Now one may ask, why Bhakti Yoga is in 7 to 12? Because sequence should have been Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga should have been 13 to 18. The answer given by the Acharyas is that when there is something very precious, it has to be nicely protected from all sides. Imagine the sandwich. You're eating a sandwich, right? So imagine the sandwich. How does the sandwich look like? Upper side, there is a bread. Lower side, there is a bread. And inside, there is a filling material. It's a filling material that is making the sandwich what it is. If you just eat without the filling material, then it is a normal bread. So similarly, the Bhakti Yoga is nicely wrapped, okay, and it's nicely protected inside the box. So as you can see, we say 7th to 12th chapter is Bhakti Yoga. Now the 7th chapter, the first verse itself. So before that, I mean, Karma Yoga primarily teaches us, I'm just going in brief because there are sections. We are going to spend a lot of sessions on each of these yoga. Then only your understanding will be complete. But for present, it is just good to understand that Karma Yoga teaches you how to detach gradually, the process of detachment from your material things. So we said about detachment, attachment, right? And Bhakti Yoga teaches us how to get attached to the Supreme. So the 7th chapter, first verse starts with Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjam. I think is let me see this verse. I think I thought yeah, here it comes. Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yata Nyanyassi Tachrunu. So what it means is that now Krishna is telling Arjuna, now here, O son of Pritha, that is, he is Partha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, which means Karma Yoga was not full consciousness, it is mixture. So now Bhakti Yoga is full consciousness. He says, by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with your mind completely attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Ashamshaya, completely no doubt at all. So this is what Bhakti Yoga is all about. So he's giving a secret here. So we will understand this better when we come to 7th chapter. For now, I'm just showing you the golden box to show again and again, remind that there is something precious inside. And of course, the whole idea of understanding Gita is that to understand that I am who I am. I'm part and parcel of the whole, and the whole is Krishna. So I'm a subordinate. I'm part and parcel. Like this finger is part and parcel of my hand. Therefore, I am part and parcel of Krishna. So that is the understanding. So here you see the box is open and you can see precious jewels are inside. That is Bhakti Yoga. So another way to look at it is now we always said that precious jewels are always protected, but the real essence that we should take from this analogy is that uh, Bhagavad Gita teaches us to look within, within or inside us or internally, as they will say. Because when we look within, internally or inside us, then basically we can understand ourselves properly, who we are. So we have to look inside. So with that understanding that I am the soul, at the core level we should always keep, and that should never be destroyed. Each and every time, if you remind yourself that I am an indestructible soul, I can never be moistened by water, I can never be withered by air, breeze, I can never be burned by fire. Oh, then I'm really blissful. I'm completely at, the positive energy will start flowing automatically. Like I think in the curtain raiser session or in introduction one, I don't know when I gave an example of a lost child in Kumbh Mela, and he's lost. But when somebody who is known to the child and as well as to the father recognizes him and connects him to the father, and the father happens to be, let's say, Bill Gates, why does the child have to worry? I mean, he's got all the wealth of the world for him. So here, Bhagavad Gita teaches us that we have a direct hotline connection with the Lord Himself. So when that soul realizes that he has got connection with the super soul, then why worry when you have hurry? Okay, so that is actually how we should. Also, automatically the positivity comes. So therefore, we mentioned about the yoga, different types of yoga that Bhagavad Gita covers. So primarily Bhagavad Gita covers these different types of yoga like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. And these are all called as yoga ladder. You imagine a ladder. Ladder has got first step, second step, third step, fourth step and so on. So like that. And below the Karma Yoga, there is something called as Karmis. I mean, we all at some stage were Karmis. Karmis are people who always chase only material goals. And they basically do not believe in any sacrifice. It's for sense gratification, sense enjoyment, and whatever I get, it's a lot of selfishness. I use it everything for myself. I, me, mine, that kind of thing. And below karmis are it is mentioned animalistic life, but actually there are human beings who are no better than two-legged animal, because they do virtually all sorts of animalistic activity only. So they have got no concept of God. So that is the lowest among the Naradam. No? So then there is Karmis who are also chasing material goals all the time. But above that, the real yoga starts. So yoga means already you are establishing a connection with Krishna. You are establishing through karma, that is your action. You are establishing through jnana, that is through knowledge. You are establishing through dhyana, that is through meditation insight. And you are establishing finally through bhakti, that is devotional service. And what does Krishna say? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we will come to that also in one of the chapters, it will come. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yuktatamo mataha. Of all this ladder that is shown, Krishna says, my mataha, that is my opinion, he says, Krishna says, is that the one who is following the practice of Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. So see, so beautifully Bhagavad Gita is packaged. There is nothing force, no force at all anywhere. You want to follow this, you get this result. You want to follow this, you get this result. So he explains everything beautifully to Krishna. He doesn't say you have to follow bhakti yoga only. But he says somewhere that this is the topmost, this is my opinion. Now you decide what you want to do. So if somebody gives, if a teacher gives you this kind of an instruction, an intelligent student will immediately understand, oh, this is what it means. The teacher is very polite to me. And then, he's expecting me that, so I'll follow this method. So this is the greatness. So now, before we go to verse 1, see, now we have to understand that who is Krishna? It's all right to say that, oh, Krishna is the proprietor of the world, Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead and all that. But you have to understand this in realm of the actual hierarchy where Krishna stands. So before we go to verse 1, we must take a understanding of who is Krishna, the greatness of Krishna. Bhagavatam says in 1.3.28, Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Riyante Yuge Yuge. So, Etesham Kala Pumsa. Kala means the expansions and the partial expansions and the expansions of the partial expansions of Krishna. There are so many. So, if you take whichever it is of Krishna, ultimately it says that Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Even the expansions are not Bhagavan, but Krishna's to Bhagavan. In other words, Krishna is a fountainhead of all these expansions. So you know where Krishna stands. Now, this might be little, in the mobile, it will not be clearly. So you need to zoom it little bit to see what I've put here. But because I have to put so many, the hierarchy, it has become small in size. I had no option. Okay, but I'll just read out for the benefit of all. So you have Krishna, who is the origin. Okay, and then there is the first expansion of Krishna is Balram. First expansion is Balram. And from Balram comes the first quadrupolar expansion. That is Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. This is the first expansion. And from Sankarshan, and in fact, in Ramayana, these four personalities, Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh, they take the forms of Lord Ramchandra, Lakshmana, Bharat, and Shatrugana. Okay. Now from Sankarshan comes Narayan. From Sankarshan comes Narayan. And from Narayan, there is a secondary or second quadrupolar expansion. Okay. Again, there is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. And from this Sankarshan comes the three types of Vishnus. The first is Karnodaksha Vishnu, who is also called as Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu, we know Mahavishnu is a Vaikuntapati. Mahavishnu is the creator, primary creator. From his skin pores, the universes are coming out like bubbles. And you see where is his position in realm to what we are talking now. So Mahavishnu is called as Karnodaksha Vishnu because he is lying in a Karna ocean, which is a causal ocean. And you must have seen the picture, and from his pores, the bubbles keep coming, and these bubbles, they expand, they become universe. And then Karnadaksha Vishnu expands and goes into each of these bubbles of universe as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. He becomes the seed of each of these universes that goes inside. Okay. And from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Brahmaji comes out from his navel, like from the lotus flower. So in each universe, there is Brahma. In our universe, there is one Brahma. Similarly, in every universe that Garbhodakasha Vishnu goes, there is Brahma. And so Brahma is created. Now, this Garbhodakasha Vishnu expands further and enters as Paramatma. We say, Paramatma in our heart, sitting close, and that is nothing but Shirodakasha Vishnu. Shirodakasha Vishnu is lying in Kshirsagar ocean, milk ocean. So he enters and he becomes Paramatma. And he is the one who is directing everyone in this material universe. We are disconnected from the remaining people. We are only connected with Shirodakasha Vishnu. And when we advance in spirituality, then we get connected one by one. But our hotline connection is directly to Krishna now. So these people in between do not mind because we are directly chanting Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, we say, there is directly mantra coming from Krishna lok. Now let's go to the, yeah. So these three Vishnus, that is Karnodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and Shirodaksha Vishnu, are called the Purusha avatars. Okay, they're called the Purusha avatars. And this Karnodaksha Vishnu is further now expanded into, you can see here. So the various avatars of the Lord, like you have 25 Leela avatars. So all the pastimes which are done, like Matsya, Varaha, Kurma, Narsimadev, Vamana, all these are Leela avatar. So they come for a particular Leela. Leela means pastimes. So they are all coming from Shirodakshaya Vishnu, Leela avatars. So like that, there are 25 Leela avatars. And then there are Guna avatars. So Guna avatars are Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. Vishnu, the maintainer. Brahma, this now we are talking about secondary creation. So Brahma has already come out. Now Brahma creates the secondary creation. So in that, Brahma is the creator. Like he creates the various, the Jiva Tattvas and all those come out. And then, of course, the maintainer of the universe that way is Vishnu. And the destructor, at some stage it has to end. All good things have to end. At some stage, that is employed by Lord Shiva. So all these are actually avatars of Shirodaksha Vishnu, but they have been employed different tasks. And then there is something called as Avesh avatars. Avesh avatars are avatars who are like what we say in legal terms, power of attorney. I am not there, but I give the power of attorney to somebody else to do the activity on my behalf. So that power of attorney is Avesh. So Avesh can be Shakti Avesh avatars, and it can also be this, what is that? Empowered avatar. So godly avatar. So that means you see Rishabh Dev, you see this Kapila Muni, Kapil Dev, they are all godly avatar. That means they carry the same kind of, when Kapil Dev talks, he is giving the same tattva. When Rishabh Dev talks to his sons, he gives the same tattva. Because they are Shakti Avesh, they are Avesh avatar for these godly qualities. They are empowered for godly qualities. And then this Shakti Avesh avatars are basically avatars who are empowered for a particular task. Like Narad Muni is the avatar for bhakti. He spreads bhakti everywhere. Brahmaji is coming here also. Brahmaji was there in Guna avatar. Brahmaji is here also. But Brahmaji has been employed to do the act of creation. And then the four Kumaras are also there, the children of Brahma. They are all Shakti Avesh avatars. So they are empowered for the Gyan. And Parshuram is also Shakti Avesh avatar. Parshuram, he defeats like a warrior. He kills all the Kshatriyas who are not maintaining the proper Kshatriya qualities. So he has to destroy them. So that he comes in the form of Parshuram. Lord comes in the form of Parshuram and he destroys all these nonsense Kshatriyas so that they don't make a problem. Okay. So, and then of course there is Yuga avatars. Yuga avatars, they come in every Yuga. So in Satya Yuga, there was Hamsa avatar. Then in Treta Yuga, there was Rama avatar. Then in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna came himself directly. And then in Kali Yuga, of course, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. So that way they are all called as Yuga avatars. Okay. And then there are Manvantara avatars. So in every Manvantara, that is the life of a Manu. Manvantara is the life of Manu. Okay. There are some avatars coming. So we are not going to detail of that because that will be a very elaborate discussion. They are all part of Bhagavatam. So now we are discussing Bhagavad-Gita only. Okay. So what the point I am trying to drive here is that Shirodakshaya Vishnu is the one that is responsible for all this. But now you should understand the Krishna's position that we spoke is a fountainhead of all this Kalapumsa. So, and we are directly hearing it from his lotus mouth. Arjuna got the benefit of hearing directly from him. And now we are getting the benefit of directly hearing from what is documented in the form of book, Bhagavad-Gita. So with this, we finally enter into the first chapter of the Song of God, Bhagavad Gita, and the title of the chapter is Observing the Army. Pay little attention so that at the end I'm going to make it interesting with some quiz. No marks, don't worry. Just going to be some interesting and very simple quiz. And I'm sure even a child sitting on somebody's lap can answer. All right. So let's go. So this is the scene here. Always we remember this scene when we see Bhagavad Gita book. So nice scene. I'm always when I see this scene, I cannot cry, but I remember the poor Brahmana in Sri Lanka who was crying by just looking at that illiterate Brahmana. He didn't know how to read, but looking at this, that Krishna is a charioteer for Arjuna. Tears were flowing from his eyes. And then Mahaprabhu said, "You have understood everything." So, very easy to understand Bhagavad Gita. Just ensure that the tears flow by looking at this picture and they have understood Bhagavad Gita in totality. So, the same observing the army has been described in two different parts. One is Sainya Niriksha Yoga, that means observing the army. That means that. Other one is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So Arjuna Vishada Yoga, you can see here, Arjuna Vishada is basically bewilderment. So this whole 46 verses of this chapter, there are sub themes within the chapter itself, and it has been very nicely acronymed as doubt. D stands for Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, which we are covering today from verse 1 to 11. O stands for ominous results, 12th to 20th, which will be covered next week. And so ominous results means when the battlefield, you expect some ominous results, right? So all these signs are coming after that. And then U is the uncertainty. At the time of war, what is going to happen, we don't know. And B stands for bewilderment. Bewilderment of Arjuna, whether to fight or not fight. And finally decides not to fight. And then there's a turning point that comes in the later verses of this chapter. So if you remember doubt, it's very easy to remember this whole chapter. This chapter is full of doubt. So I thought it might be very auspicious to begin by blowing the shank. So I want to do something very innovative, like just how the shank will be blown there. So I would want to blow this shank also to begin the verse 1 of chapter 1. So, and yeah, this doubt, the first three DOU are actually coming under Sainya Niriksha Yoga, and the last two, that is bewilderment turning point, comes under Arjuna's Vishada Yoga. So now let's take a jump into verse 1. I'm sure all of you are eagerly waiting. 40 minute हो गया अभी तक चालू नहीं हुआ क्या होने वाला है. Let's see. We'll take it as it comes. The endeavor is to ensure that we get proper understanding, the foundation, and then now when we take a deep dive, we understand what it is to hear this first verse of chapter 1. The first verse is, this is the only verse that Dhritarashtra has spoken, as we said last time. So there's only one verse out of 700 that Dhritarashtra has spoken. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim akurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So this is the question I is putting. So now we have to understand 4 things from this verse. First thing is, let us understand Dhritarashtra himself. So Dhritarashtra is actually 2 words combined. Dhrita, Rashtra. So Dhrita is somebody who is basically known to be very uh, stubborn, or obstinate kind of a character, tenacity. And Rashtra means, as we know, nation. So Dhritarashtra was very much attached as a person, was very much attached to the nation, that is Hastinapur. And Dhritarashtra, this attachment also represents attachment to the apart from the kingdom, to the family, that is his children and society, everything. So one thing we should understand, that when somebody is too much attached, then eventually what happens is he tends to become powerless over a period of time, because something that keeps you attached, it will not allow you to exercise your power properly. I think we all understand what it is. Sometimes we want to scold our children, but the attachment is so much that we say, Jane do. But sometimes it is really good to scold and chastise them for their own benefit. But so this attachment has got certain, this kind of side things that can happen. So here Dhritarashtra is asking, Dharmashetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsava. So Dharmashetre Kurukshetre. So Kurukshetra is a place, as we know, and it is also called as there is something that is coming on the screen. Bala, Bala, Bala. I don't know, somebody's name. Are you all able to see? I just saw that the name is coming on the screen. It's just running from one corner to another corner. I don't know what is that. Anyway. And now there is some marks also on that screen. Okay, no problem. So Dharmashetra Kurukshetra means, Kurukshetra is a place. So it's a land where they have all assembled, and it's basically a Dharmashetra. So Kurukshetra means a Kshetra where once upon a time the king Kuru, he was basically ruling that place, and he conducted a lot of yajna. Who is King Kuru? The head of the Kuru dynasty. Now the Pandavas and Kauravas, they are coming under Kuru dynasty. So few generations before them, there was King Kuru. So that's why the name is Kurukshetra. And he was such a virtuous king. He performed a lot of yajna, and as a result, the Kshetra had a lot of advantages, and it was blessed with a lot of the demigods also blessed, and it was flourishing with all the good things, cows, milk, brahmanas. So there was no shortage of anything. And dharma is basically the righteous way of doing things. So everything in that place was correct. Everything was rightly done. The people were also following the dharma properly. So that's why that place had a significance. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. So here he's saying Dharmashetra Kurukshetra Samaveta Yutsava. So Samaveta Yutsava means they assemble to fight each other. Who assembled? Mamaka, Pandavas Cheva. Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. So he's distinguishing Mamaka, my children. See, at the end of the day, you should understand, he's revealing his character here. Now, when Pandu has left quite early, the children, Pandavas, were under the care of Dhritarashtra. Okay? His Pandu's elder brother. So one would imagine that when they are not having their own biological father, the foster father would treat them like their own children. So he would not distinguish his children from his biological children, because that is the way dharma is done. But here he's asking question, Mamaka Pandava Cheva. Oh, there is something coming on the screen. I don't know who is doing it. A lot of tick marks have come. Somebody, I think by mistake, is touching the screen, and a lot of
Someone is
marks.
annotating, Prabhuji. Nobody should touch the screen.
How do I do that, Prabhu?
We can't do anything, Prabhuji. Someone is getting into annotate and drawing on the screen.
Oh my God. Okay. I
So
saw
please request, nobody should touch the control.
Yeah, I saw Bala's name coming in between. So I'm not sure by mistake if sometimes, if we don't realize it, our fingers or something is touching. So kindly ensure, because I cannot remove it now. And anyway, because as long as it's not covering any aspect, important aspect, it becomes a very bad thing on the screen also. So he's asking that after Pandava's son and my sons, they sat, what did they do? So in one sense, it looks like a foolish question also, isn't it? Because it's like akin to saying that people have sat to eat prasadam or their meals. And then we ask, oh, they have sat, then what did they do? What they will do, they'll eat. What else they will do? So that way, this is a very funny question that is being asked by Dhritarashtra. So the first line, Kurukshetra, so he's expressing some things in his mind, because Kurukshetra is a sacred place, it's a place of pilgrimage, and it's also said that Parshuram, after he finished all this killing of all the Kshatriyas, he came there, he sat there, and he did his atonement there. It's a very pure place. And even the demigods or the devatas, they come there, they treat it as a sacrificial arena. So, in whichever way you look at it, it is a very, very holy place. And because it is a holy place, then what happens? There is a vibration of the sacred place. Nowadays, if you see, even the corporate annual meetings, once upon a time it used to be held only in the office premises, in the board of directors, or in the conference hall, conference meeting room. Now the modern trend is to go take an off-site meeting. And the off-site meeting will be where? It will be held in some hill station, somewhere, Matheran, Lonavala, if you're in Bombay, or somewhere else. Because when a place is very serene, like, mountains and trees, and the serene environment will have a calming effect on the mind. And this calming effect of the mind will have a clarity of thoughts. Then the right decisions can be taken. Even this is being followed in the corporate. So similarly here, it is they are sitting here and discussing, and at the back of the mind, Dhritarashtra knows that Pandavas are pious and my own children are not unpious. So whether that being unpious, will it have an effect, because it is a Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre? So all these things are playing in his mind. And at the end of the day, he is clearly asking this question for these 4 reasons. There cannot be any other thing. These 4 reasons. He is desirous. He is desirous that his sons must win this particular battle, and they must by some way be managing this kingdom. They should own this kingdom. So they have to defeat. So he is desirous. But then he is doubtful. He is doubtful of the possibility of son getting victory because of the reasons that we mentioned now. Because they are unpious, and then the influence of the place. So that will have a negative influence on them. Whereas for the Pandavas, it will be positive. And he was fearful, again for the same reason, because Kurukshetra is a very holy place. And he feared that because of this being the reason, whether his sons will compromise. They have gone with full vigor to fight, and maybe because of the holy place influence, will they change their mind and then say that, okay, let's give up this fight. Okay, Pandavas, come on, let us wrap it up and become friends. Bye-bye. Bye-bye and then bye-bye also, both. Okay. So therefore he was fearful, because we must remember that when Krishna went to broker peace in the palace of Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra kept mum. Krishna tried his best. Why Dhritarashtra kept mum? Because in the heart of his heart, he wanted this war to take place. He wanted that Pandavas should be defeated, and he wanted to show that my children will rule this kingdom. So now that fear has suddenly come, but he was hopeful that other way around. He was hopeful that maybe the place will influence Pandavas to now, renounce their thought of, raising a claim for this kingdom. So all that is playing in his mind. Okay. All this is coming because of one word, that is attachment. Dhritarashtra was an attached person. So he was hoping for the impossible, that's not going to happen, and he was fearing for the inevitable, that is going to happen. The world's darkest the world's darkness always prevents perception. When everything is dark, we will misunderstand because there's no light. The perception is wrong. But if this darkness is inside our heart, it perverts our perception. Is it not? We'll think wrong about because my heart is now perverted. I'll start thinking negative. My perception is completely wrong. So this is exactly the situation of Dhritarashtra. Okay. So we go to now verse number 2. Sanjay Vacha. Now Sanjay is replying to the question that Dhritarashtra has asked. Drishtva tu. Now see, I'm not able to see the verse also properly because of the markings on top of the verse. Drishtva. Is everybody able to see the verse?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Drishtva tu Pandavanikam Yuddham Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana now went to his teacher. Who is the teacher? Dronacharya. And spoke the following words. Now, see, we should understand that Sanjaya is blessed by whom? Vyasadeva. Now, he can sit in a remote location and he can see the complete picture, what is going on there. He doesn't have to go to the battlefield at all. He's completely blessed. He's got that Divya Drishya. So, therefore, he is sitting close to Dhritarashtra, who is blind not only materially, but it is said that Acharyas say that he was blind even spiritually, because when you are bereft of even spiritual vision, then you will develop this kind of negative things. You will develop attachment to your children to such an extent that at any cost you want to usurp the place. So he was basically trying to do that, even if it means following a adharmic path. And you will follow adharmic path only if you are spiritually bereft. So here he was blind in all sense, Duryodhana. And Sanjaya is now narrating this from his Divya Drisha. And what is he saying? That he's trying to pacify. I mean, he's trying to say the positive now, what he has seen there. He's saying that, oh, your son, Duryodhana, went to his teacher and he spoke the following words. So in one way, Sanjay is actually encouraging Dhritarashtra that, see what good thing he has done. He's immediately come down. He has completely, he has come to basically inspect both the sides. It's like, doing a SWOT analysis. It's a SWOT analysis that Duryodhana is doing right now there. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. And he spoke the following words. So Sanjaya completely updated him. Now, what were the words? We'll go to the next words, number 3, 1.3. Pashyetam Pandu Patranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. So he said, O my teacher, to Dronacharya, behold the great army of sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad. So the son of Drupad is Drishtadyumna. So he is actually astonished. He thought that the Pandus would not have the right wisdom of the battlefield to arrange the proper, battlefield, the army and all that. But he was astonished when he saw the way it has been arranged. And he went and immediately explained this as a first point to his teacher. So now why did he do that? This is basically, he's now trying to instigate his teacher also. He's a very clever, expert politician, Duryodhana. Now he's indirectly telling the teacher, Duryodhana, that, see, don't underestimate them and don't think and don't, come under some level of compassion because your own disciples are there in that side. So he's basically trying to flame, something like a passion inside that what he's going to tell next is going to come now. Yes, Prabhu, you raised your hand. Shamsundar Prabhu.
Prabhuji, what you do, you go to the annotate function and then say disable annotate and remove clear everything. So all these markings will get removed.
Okay. So annotate. Now when I'm going to annotate, uh, there is a delete box. Should I do that? Clear all drawings.
Delete there is nothing called clear, is it?
Wonderful. Gone. Thanks a lot. I
Perfect.
learned so much today.
Thank you.
I've never encountered this in the first place. So when I'm encountering this
I don't
challenge,
know. Yes, somebody gets into annotate and only then they can draw. So we have to disable annotate.
okay, maybe next time when we start the session, we'll keep that button disabled.
Yes, Guruji.
But now what has happened is my cursor, let me see whether I can get my cursor back. Yes, I got it back. Because the cursor was showing some different arrow and it was not
Okay.
allowing me to go in my slide also. Now I can go. So here we have to understand that uh, Duryodhana is trying to remind uh, his teacher. Now there is a saying in Hindi also, दोस्त का दुश्मन मेरा दुश्मन, isn't it? दोस्त का दुश्मन मेरा दुश्मन, दोस्त का दुश्मन मेरा दोस्त. That means you're my friend. If your enemy, okay, your enemy is my enemy too. Okay, but if let's say dost ka dushman, that means now you're my friend, you have an enemy. Okay, so he's also my enemy. But on the other hand, mera dushman ka dushman, he becomes mera dost, because it's like, aligning yourself to who will do what. Correct. So this is what actually strategy that Duryodhana is trying to adopt. So this is a pure politics that he is playing, and he is playing this only because he knows the background, and he has specifically see, he could have used the word Dhritarashtra, but he has used the word son of Drupada. By using the word son of Drupada, he is now reminding Dronacharya of the past, and the past history is not good. They are sworn enemies. Dronacharya and Drupada are sworn enemies. Once upon a time, when they were in the same Gurukul, their contemporaries, when they were in the same Gurukul studying, they were very good friends. And Dronacharya used to help Drupada on several aspects. So eventually, when they finished the education in the Gurukul, Drupad wanted to give him some dakshina, and he was so happy with him that he was a prince at that time, not a king. So he told him that I want to give you 50% of my kingdom in as a dakshina. So Dronacharya was very happy, but he said, "Park it for now. I will ask you at the right time." And as time passed, Dronacharya somehow lady luck did not shine on him, and he was a little bit on the poverty-stricken side. And as a result, his son Ashwatthama, when he was when he was growing up, his friends made a lot of fun of Ashwatthama of his poverty, because they were making fun like, have you ever drank milk? Do you drink milk daily? Ashwatthama said, of course I drink milk. But why they asked this question was they knew that Ashwatthama was not drinking the real milk. He was drinking something that is a rice powder mixed with water, because that's all they could afford at that time. They could not afford even a glass of milk. So in that way, fun was being made, and so Dronacharya they said, now is the time for me to go and ask something to my friend Drupad, what he had given me some years back, the promise. So he went to him and he asked him, "Do you remember you had given me the promise when we both passed out of the Gurukul?" So to his surprise, shock, Drupad said, "What promise? I don't remember any promise. In fact, I don't even remember of having seen you in Gurukul." So when he said that, Dronacharya was heartbroken and he became very much upset. And he said that time he took a pledge that at some day in future I'm going to teach him a lesson. And then what happened was he actually, if I remember the story correctly, Shyam Sudaprabhu, you remember what he did after that? I think Drupad was primarily, doing yagya to
I'll tell Prabhuji.
yeah, because they became such a sworn enemies that Drupad decided that now it's time for me to eliminate Dronacharya. So he did a yagya, and in that yagya came Draupadi, and also Drishtadyumna came. And this Drishtadyumna, when he was the yagya was done in such a way that when he comes out, he will come out as an enemy of Dronacharya. So with that intention, he has actually prayed. A yagya was performed. And this Drishtadyumna, to everybody's surprise, when he was small, he was sent to the same Gurukul where Dronacharya was teaching. And Dronacharya knew that someday when this boy grows big, he's going to kill me. But he did not bring the principle of, he was very ethical. He said, okay, he has come to learn under me, let me learn, let me teach him. So he taught him all the complete, the weaponry and everything was taught to him. And the same thing now Dhritarashtra was wanted to use against him. That's why he was on the Pandava side to kill. And this is what actually Duryodhana is pinching him. He's pinching Dronacharya now. He's reminding this whole history so that automatically Dronacharya, even if he has got a small soft corner for Pandavas, that will go away and he will be ready to take on this might of Pandavas. Then we go to verse number 4. Atra Sura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharata. From now on till verse 9, it will be very fast because it is just, assembly of the great warriors that Duryodhana is saying one by one. So here he says, here in this army, that means here in this army means Pandava's army, he has seen so many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. And apart from Bhima and Arjuna, there are great fighters like Yudhana, Virat, and Drupada. So that means you should not underestimate these people. So he points that out to his own fighters. Now we go to verse number 5. Drishtaketus Cheketana Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Shaibhyascha Narapungavaha. There are also other great heroic people, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Shekitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and Saibhya. So these are the different people who are all very powerful. So they all decided to join Pandavas. And this Duryodhana is seeing this and is conveying to his people. Verse number 6. Yuddhamanyusta Vikranta Uttamaujastach Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharataha. There are also mighty Yuddhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi, the 5 sons, they were also there at that time. All these warriors are great fighters. So now the analysis part of Duryodhana is more or less complete on the Pandava side. He has done a complete analysis and he is coming and he went closely and he saw that and he's coming back and he's telling to his army men, see, these are all the great people, so don't underestimate by the sheer that you are overpowering them in numbers. Verse 7. Asmakam tu vishishtaye ta niboda dvijotma nayaka mama sainasya samnyartam tadbravimi te. But for your information, O best of Brahmanas, now his pride is going up. Let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. So now he's taking pride in what he has got to counter this. So we go to verse number 8. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitim Jayaha Ashwattama Vikarnascha Saumadatis Tatevacha. Now these are all the equivalent, powerful, strong men on the side of Kauravas. And who are they? There are personalities like you means Dronacharya, then Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, who is his younger brother, Duryodhan's, and the son of Somadatta, very powerful person, Bhurishrava, were always victorious. So these people have a good track record of always being, victorious. So then we come to verse 9. And this is an important verse, of course. Anyacha bahava shura madarte tyakta jivitaha nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military. So, so basically, what Duryodhana is once again, he's charging his people. He says that, look, my heroes are in no way inferior. Look at Jayadratha, look at Shalya, look at Kritavarma. No, they can lay their lives for me anytime. And they have already done that in the past several times. So they come before me and they have fought the war. And they can take up anybody. And also he's also remembering Karna also in the process. Karna also will be there in the war because Karna is his lieutenant. Important verse coming up, verse number 10. Aparyaptam tad asmakam balam bhishma abhirakshitam paryaptam to idam etesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. So now he is making two comparisons of two great personalities. On one hand, he is comparing his own powerful man, general, the grandfather, Bhishma Dev, Mahapita. And then on the other side, there is also Bhima, who is also well respected and quite strong. But look at the words that he is using here. He is saying, Aparyaptam. Aparyaptam tadasmaktam. Tadasmakam. So Aparyaptam is something, it is translated as immeasurable. Like we say, valuable, invaluable. It actually magnifies the intensity of that particular world. So he's saying Bhishma, the kind of potency that Bhishma possesses, Balam, strength that he possesses, it's immeasurable by anybody in the other camp. On the other hand, he said the other camp, Pandava's camp, he says it is Paryaptam. So opposite of Aparyaptam is Paryaptam, that is limited. It said that Paryaptam to idam etesham balam bhima bhi rakshitam. That is Bhima's potency or the strength, balam, is limited. So he is comparing Bhima and Bhishma Dev in a way that he is keeping himself happy that what I have on my side is much better than what they have on their side. Now, is it really that he means that? Because sometimes, as being the leader of that particular party, you cannot show what is in your mind. Internally, you could mean something. Externally, you could mean something, but internally, there is something else that is going on. He could actually mean Aparayaptam. He's actually trying to show to his side that Aparayaptam is actually limited. It is not something that is, it is not enough. What they have is very limited. Whereas our side is Paryaptam, that is enough, more than enough. So actually he's turning it around in this way for his team. But in reality, what the Acharyas say is that he is actually fearing inside. That is, Aparayaptam is actually, what he means is, immeasurable from the side of Bhishma. So it is normally said that the strength is not determined by what you possess for the warriors. What it means is the zeal that you carry. There is a nice word called zeal in English. The zeal is something that determines the strength. You may be physically strong, but suppose you don't have that zeal, then it doesn't count much. So he's trying to say that Bhishma is willing to fight, but he's not sure internally whether his heart is really there to fight or not. Because somewhere he feels that Bhishma may develop a soft corner for the Pandavas because they are on the right path. He knows that. So his zeal tells that, whereas the zeal that Bhima is possessing, that is complete anger. He wants to fight and finish. So that zeal is actually threatening. So even though on paper it looks like Bhishma is an experienced person, Bhishma is a proven warrior and is aged, respected. But in reality, internally, Duryodhana is also fearing whether Bhishma will be able to bring out all those things. Does he have the zeal to do that? Whereas other side, Bhima will be able to do it. Then where do we go? So these are the dilemmas that he is pointing out and is trying to bring out. Then we come to the last verse of the day. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avastitah bhishmam iva birakshantu bhavantah sarva evahi. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu. So now he is saying, with this kind of a background that we possess, oh my dear friends, oh my dear army men, please raise yourself in unison and support our grandfather Bhishma Mahapita. And as you stand in take your respective position of the military arrangement or the phalanx you have taken, please keep one thing in mind, that our support should be completely to Bhishma Mahapita. So in this way, he is trying to boost the confidence of Bhishma Mahapita also. Now, why he is doubting Bhishma Mahapita and also to some extent Dronacharya is somewhere, he feels that, these were their disciples, like Dronacharya's disciples, and maybe they'll have a soft corner. Similarly, Bhishma always has a soft corner for Krishna, and Krishna is on the other side, even though Krishna will not participate, but still is on the other side. So whether there will be, something that will be adverse for them. So these are the things that Duryodhana is thinking about these two people. But to satisfy himself internally, he says that, well, but then in Draupadi's Vastraharan, they kept quiet. If they wanted, they could have raised their voice, but they didn't raise their voice. They kept quiet. That means they are on my side only. So they are not. But he's just sort of charging them, giving them the necessary flame and sort of cautioning them. Please don't be lenient and don't show your affection now, because that will be detrimental for our war. Okay, so with that we end today's session. Now I come to this quiz. Very simple quiz. I'm sure all of you will be able to answer. I've made a compilation of 4 questions, very, very simple, and you can all answer. And anybody who is ready with the answer, fastest fingers first should raise the hand. Don't utter it directly unmuting. Just raise your hand and your turn will come. So why is Kurukshetra called Dharmashetra? Answers. A, because it's a place of worship. B, place where lot of, let me finish the question. Who has this? Place where lot of religious rituals are performed. C, place which supports the virtuous people. And D, all of the above. So let me pick. Let me see. Who has raised the hand? Nobody has raised the hand. Okay. I see
Anjali
one.
has raised the hand.
Anjali has raised her hand. Yes, Anjali, go ahead.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, all of the above.
Wonderful. Big round of applause for Anjali. Very nice.
Prabhuji,
Fully
200 brownie pounds.
200. 100 plus 100, huh? नहीं, इसके लिए 100 नहीं है, because there are 4 questions. So इसके लिए 50. So you keep your answer 100 plus 50, 150 हो गया. Okay? Now next. So second question. The key takeaways from this sloka. Place influences the result of action. People of duplicit nature can never be peaceful and satisfied. The place develop simplicity. The key takeaway of the sloka, develop simplicity. All of the above. So A, B, C and D. थोड़ा ट्रिकी है ना? नहीं, सिंपल है. Yes, who wants to go? Time is ticking. There is no helpline in this, unfortunately. No, nobody can answer this? My God, why? Was this session so boring? I'll repeat. Key takeaways from the sloka. The place influences the result of the action. People of duplicit nature can never be peaceful and satisfied. Develop simplicity. All of the above, D. किसने रेस किया? तिरुवैया. Yes, Tiruvaya.
Is it all of the above?
Yes, 50 brownie point for you. Great. Right. Now, who wants to go for the third quiz? Why did Dhritarashtra have the fear of losing the battle? Is it because the battle was to take place in Dharmashetra? Is it because Pandavas were virtuous by nature? Is it A and B? And is it none of the above? Very simple. Very simple. Yes, Varsha Kumari Mataji.
Astrology, is it C?
Correct. 50 brownie points to Varsha. Very good. Very, very nice. Last question, quiz number 4. What made Duryodhana confident of victory? Is it the strength of his friends? Is it the presence of Bhishma, a far-sighted superior general than Bhima? Is it that he was confident of full support of Bhishma and Drona as they are shown during Draupadi's insulting episode? Is it all of the above? Yes. Who raised the hand? You raised the hand, then you lowered it. क्या बात है? Okay, technically there's a mistake in this question. I mean, I would say answers rather. Because if somebody says C, then also D is qualifying. I'm sorry, there's a mistake here. But you can say that A and B are correct, which means C is correct. Okay, and automatically D. So answer should be C and D. All of the above. Okay. Done.
So you get brownie points, Prabhuji.
No. I don't get. I'm setting the paper. No. Last slide. This is to make an analysis of how Duryodhana is thinking in this whole this. So we discussed about this SWOT analysis yesterday in the lessons that leaders learn from Ramayana. So here, in the strength, Duryodhana thought that overall his army strength and diplomacy, he was very strategic in that. His army strength is very good and he was very diplomatic. His general Bhishma Dev's valor and the track record of Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishwa, they were all on his side. So he said that they have never lost. So that means we will never lose this time. And he requested for support for all. That is, all of us should support Bhishma Dev. So that is, and they all united. They all agreed. Immediately they agreed. Yes, we must support Bhishma Mahapita. So this is a strength, clear strength. And what is the weakness? There is a bothering fear and doubt that is coming because of the inherent nature that we saw, Pandava's piety and then unpious nature. And then he suspects whether something will go wrong, whether Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya will not extend their full support. That's a doubt that is in his mind. Okay, he is doubting Bhishma Dev's commitment. Opportunity. Dronacharya saw a superb opportunity in instigating Duryodhana saw a splendid opportunity in instigating Dronacharya to take revenge by telling him about Drupad's enmity, which is purely a political issue. So by doing that, he saw it as an opportunity and he said, this is a good thing for me to instigate and threat the army of Pandavas, the great sons of Pandu. They are so expertly arranged. This actually completely bowled him out. He was not sure that they will do it so well. And the reason was Dhritarashtra. And then he was a bit, as everybody is in the other camp, everybody is worried about Bhima's capability. So Bhima's potential and capability was always a cause of worry. So we end this session. Sorry, we went over time because here today, the initial part before we started chapter 1, the chapter 1, sloka 1, we had set the scene for how to enter into this particular book. And that's why we had to spend 15 minutes for that. Otherwise, we are on track. So is there any questions pertaining to today's verse? Somebody wants to clarify on today's verse, any of the verses, or any doubt is there? and please come forward. Okay, it was fairly simple, I guess. Nothing
No.
really,
Yeah.
nothing really. I think so. Maybe we can then, if there are no questions or something, then we can even end the. Okay, Tiruvaya has raised her hand. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Chaitanya Nityananda. Thank you for the class. I didn't understand Manvantara avatars out of the expansions of the last expansion.
Yeah, it's a very big subject matter, very, very big subject matter. It is covered in Bhagavatam in detail. And for this moment, it is sufficient for us to know. Maybe I can also answer it offline to you. It's sufficient to know. Manvantras are basically in one day of Brahma. Okay, there are 14 Manvantras. That is 14 Manus coming and going. So right now we have a Manu, which is not Swayambhuva. It is who is the Manu? It's just not coming in my mind. The present Manu, Chakshusha Manu is over. Vipayana. I'm forgetting. Sorry, it is just, my memory is not giving me. So it started with Swayambhuva Manu, and then it goes through one by one, and up to 14 Manus. And each of these Manu, they live for 71 Yuga cycles. This entire Chatur Yuga cycles are there. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So this is all
Vaivasvata Manu Prabhuji.
Vaivasvata Manu. Vaivasvata Manu.
Vaivasvata.
Present Manu is Vaivasvata Manu. So each of these Manu, they live for 71 Yuga cycles. Okay. So in Brahma's one day, 14 Manus come and go, and each of these Manu live for 71 Yuga cycles. And one Yuga cycle is the entire, span of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. That means if Kali Yuga is X, 4,32,000 years, the Chatur Yuga is 10X, 43 lakhs, 32,000 years. Very clear, 10X. And you multiply this by 43 lakhs and 34,000 or 32,000. You multiply by 71. It will be mind-boggling. Okay, that will be the lifespan of one Manu. So like that, there are 14 Manus coming and going. So this one lifespan of Manu is called Manvantara. Okay, and in each Manvantara, there are different avatars coming. Like for example, in this Vaivasvata Manu, right, is right now going on. So I said each Manu lives for 71 cycle. So it is assumed that this Vaivasvata Manu's 27 cycles are over. Now the 28th cycle is going on. And similarly, Vaivasvata Manu is the 7th Manu. Out of 14, the 7th Manu, which means Brahma's 50 years is over. Brahma lives for, this 14 Manu cycle that way. And that goes to something like mind-boggling, 311 trillion, 40 billion years. 311 trillion, 40 billion years. That is his lifespan, Brahma's lifespan. And that corresponds to this 71 Manu cycle. Okay, of 14 Manus. So the 7th Manu is Vaivasvata Manu right now. And in the 7th Manu, 28 cycles over. So it's you can see how complicated it is going. And in that Manu, in that cycle of 28th cycle, Lord Krishna came, Mahaprabhu came. So sometimes some avatars can be counted in different places. So they will come as Guna avatar, they will come as Manvantara avatar. So like that, they'll keep on coming. So Manvantara avatars are different avatars. They'll come in. So similarly, Yuga avatars also there. That's again another topic. So in Bhagavatam, it is very detailed cover. It is covered. This Manvantara avatars. At some stage later, we can explore it once we progress in Bhagavad-Gita. At some stage, we can talk about this in detail. All right. For time being, does it give you enough idea about what Manvantara avatars are?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. I'll have to watch the recording again to understand clearly about everything. It was a bit complicated.
I will try to write it in a separate message and I'll send it to you. Okay, it will be easy to recap. Okay.
Please, Prabhuji, but I'll look at the recording and take notes. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you, Mama.
All right. So, any other questions anybody has? Feel free to ask, because this is a family group now, and one should not feel that if I ask a question, whether it will be silly question or whether it will bring down the decorum. Nothing like that. Now, no question is silly. Bhagavad Gita is basically for us only. Okay, it is our manual, so we are entitled to ask all sorts of questions. So pertaining to these 11 verses, if there is something, you ask, because as we go on, lot of things will also be clear. If there is some question which is outside these 11 verses, if you still want to ask, you ask, and then I will tell that this will be covered in so and so chapter. All right. Yes, Anusha has raised her hand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for blowing the conch shell before starting the program. It was very enlightening, and it's totally new and innovative, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. We felt as if we are really entering Bhagavad Gita. And so, yeah, indeed a silly doubt, but because you said, I gathered guts to ask it. You had mentioned that affection was detrimental to progress. To what extent? And because he mentions his own brother's son, he keeps mentioning as Pandu's son in the first verse itself. So I've always been thinking of it. Generally in our family relations, we don't say like, her brother's son. Like son is being called son only. We don't say like, my father's brother's son or something like that. So to what extent attachment can get detrimental, and to what extent attachment is healthy? I wanted to know.
What extent attachment is detrimental, and what extent
To what extent attachment is healthy enough or within limits?
Okay. So, see, it's inevitable that we all would have attachment to our kids and kins. It's very much normal. But what we should see is we should evolve from having the attachment on the body platform to the soul platform. Ultimately, we should raise our level, because when Gita is teaching us knowledge, and then we are seeing our child, as our own child. Gita will teach us that nothing belongs to you. When you say it's my own child, that means you are claiming proprietorship of the child, of your child, correct? That's why we are saying it's my child. Whereas Gita teaches something that is contrary. Gita says, Bhoktaram ega tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam nyatvam shantim richati. So, who is a proprietor? Bhoktaram. So, Krishna says that I am the proprietor. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. That means everything emanates from me. And the wise who know this surrender unto me with all their hearts. So, what are these? Why is Krishna saying all this? Is he because he is proud and egoistic? No. He is the one who's created. If I go to an office and if the managing director of the company says, this is my company, that is not pride. He has created the company, so he is entitled to say that. That is the truth. So similarly, Krishna is saying, everything belongs to me. So when he says everything, all jivas are belonging to him. So ultimately, everybody are part and parcel of the Lord. Now, this is how actually Gita teaches. So Arjuna was in this dilemma. Now, as we study this chapter further, the question that you asked, exactly this question will map to Arjuna's initial realization. He's now at the moment, he's in body realization. Because when he's seeing the army, he is seeing that, my teacher is there, my grandfather is there, all my kids and kins are there, everybody is there, my, that comes. Then Krishna gives him the gyan. Krishna says, you don't have to kill them, they are already killed. You just have to perform this action. That is Dharma Yudh, I am telling you. Okay, then he realizes what is that. But of course, he doesn't say it in such a shortcut. He goes through a process, because it is not something that can be understood just like that. When we read each and every word in the context of that, and the way Arjuna understood it, we'll also understand it. But attachment is a very strong, I would say, nature of this material world. We are all attached, especially to our family and to our nearest and the dearest one, that is our children and our parents. So we can't bear the separation, but we know Gita teaches us that eventually we all come together and we all separate also. Like in the train compartment, one station, next station, somebody gets in, we get friendly, we exchange numbers, and then we'll say that we'll stay in contact. And the moment the station comes, that person gets down, he says bye bye, I say bye bye, Tata, I proceed for the next station. And after that, we may never ever meet that person again in the lifetime. Never. So, attachment, Bhagavad Gita will teach us that to whom you have to have attachment. Attachment should be only to the Supreme Lord, to His lotus feet. That is Bhagavad Bhakti. That will take us to the, because as long as we keep attachment, in one sense, it is not wrong to keep attachment, but this attachment will permanently keep you bound in the shackles of material world. So first thing we have to understand what is our objective. We want to get out of this place. And what is preventing us from getting out? It is attachment. So attachment is coming from avidya, ignorance. Because we are thinking that we are this body. We are thinking that I am Mr. So-and-so. You are Mr. So-and-so. I am Indian. You are American. These are all upadhis, titles. They are not, and we know it's not real, isn't it? Otherwise, why should we burn the body after the person is died? Keep the attachment to the dead body also. Who's stopping us? No. The moment the person goes away, we say body ko nikalo, body ko jala do. Tab tak till that time he was not the body. We never saw the person inside the body. And the moment the person has left, that is the soul has left, we say body ko hatao de yahan se. We are not even bearing to see that for a minute. So where is that attachment at that time to the body? If you're having the attachment, you should keep it in a safe cupboard, keep it. We don't do that, no? So it clearly means that we are having a false identification. Our crisis is false identification. And this false identification is the cause for attachment. And this attachment binds us like shackles, and then the karmic activity starts. We can never get out of this place. So if we want to get out, we have to decide what's the goal. Do we want to get out? Yes, we want to get out. Okay. So more about that, more analogies we can discuss when that stage comes, because there's so many lovely examples in Bhagavatam also. Chitraketu's example is there. There's so many lovely examples are there. So we'll discuss about it as it comes. For now, I think it is 8:35. I think we should end now. And I thank all of you for joining. Please try to motivate and encourage, because if you feel convinced that you're getting something which is very precious, please motivate and encourage at least one friend or one relative. It's difficult to convince relatives, but try. No harm in trying. Because ultimately we want this message the benefit to go to everyone, not even the message, the benefit. Because we are just trying to repeat whatever is given in the book. No further additions or deletions. Exactly same like a parrot. And that is our only goal. Okay? Let everybody get the benefit. All right, so we'll end now.
Let's announce some brownie points for that also.
For the question, you mean?
No, for anyone who brings another friend of his.
All right.
Oh,
very good.
great.
Very good. Very good suggestion. Okay, and I want each one of you to, I'll try to maintain a diary of brownie points, but I want each one of you, whoever has got brownie points today and future will be getting, please maintain sincerely in your diary also. Because maybe at the end of the month, at some stage, or at the end of each chapter, let's make it this way, at the end of each chapter, we will see what we can do for, I'm not going to disclose anything, but what we can help for the person who has got brownie points. And let us encourage more and more people to get brownie points. It's very simple. All that we have to do is whatever is coming out in the presentations, the questions are in the syllabus only, not out of the syllabus. Okay. Thank you all very much. We'll meet
Thank you.
Saturday.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sundarauji
Okay,
will
thank you.
continue from here next week, and he will start from the actual tongue blowing of Bhishma Dev. Hare Krishna. I'm ending the call
Thank
now.
you. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Hare Krishna, Ji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.